Hello, everybody, and welcome to the TrustSwap Interview series with RENOVI. My name is Brett, and today I'll be your host. Today, I'm joined by Adonis Zachariades, COO of RENOVI. Thank you for joining us today, Adonis. How you doing?
Thank you for having me, Brett, and it's really nice to be here. I'm just doing amazing. I'm just living the dream, the Renovi dream.
I love to hear it. We're living the TrustSwap dream out here, so that's good stuff. Before we get started, as usual, I just want to remind everybody, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and like this video for more Launchpad news, TrustSwap updates, and a little bit of exclusive alpha. As well, all the links we talk about in this chat are going to be down below. You'll be able to find all the community links, all the official links, blog post links, etc. down below. So make sure to check that out. Now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, why don't we dive right on into it? First of all, I'd love to know a little bit about yourself, and could you give us a little bit of an intro into the project RENOVI?
Absolutely. So, a bit about myself. I'm one of the co-founders of Renovi. I don't usually call myself COO. When you're the co-founder, you just pretty much do everything that needs to be done. So, I'm just one of the co-founders, with the other co-founders being Andy Charalambus, and of course, having an amazing team behind us that is supporting us in building this project. My background is in economics. I finished university with a thesis on the efficiency of blockchain markets. So Web3 is what I've been doing ever since. I started in the city of London, as an alternative asset analyst. And at some point, I had this opportunity in the early days of the metaverse to jump onto that bandwagon with Renovi, the initial inception of Renovi, and actually creating really interesting activations within the metaverse. We were actually amongst the first to build the Decentraland Fashion Week, helping brands like General Motors, Diageo, DKNY, Charles and Keith, Nestle. I'm definitely forgetting others, and I do apologize for that. But we just brought them into the metaverse. And that was just simply the beginning of what Renovi was meant to be. We brought them into the metaverse, obviously. We showed them how, in a way, games work, because metaverse, at the end of the day, was a lot of games that had, this open world experience. And while we're bringing those brands into these games, at some point we realized that, hey, there's something here, but it's a bit bigger than what the metaverse idea was, or the initial idea of Renovi was. And it was that we have brands that want to connect with a newer audience. That newer audience is obviously gamers, that can range when it comes to the age group. So that's when we started shifting gears and moving from just building activations and building 3D designs to actually building a service that takes the advertisers and the brands and puts them directly into the games. And of course, I can expand on that, because we're being gamers ourselves. We were noticing that games were making a killing when it comes to advertising, but at the same time, the end user from that, which is the gamer, was actually getting more and more irritated from advertisements. So we're trying to find the better way of doing this, and immersive in-game ads was actually the better way in doing this. And with our experience, we were able to actually bring this into fruition.
Very interesting concept. I know that a lot of the games are basically funding their entire project on advertising. So it's quite a lucrative model that works. It's been proven to work, at least from what I've seen. It sounds interesting. It sounds like something I know from the Web 2 video game world. Is there anyone doing this in Web 3? If so, what makes you guys stand out as a company compared to competitors?
Really interesting point. So when you think of the Web2 worlds, and when you think of competitors, just so you know, there's quite a few when it comes to your typical advertising. But when it comes to immersive in-game advertising, although it's been around for quite a while, you can still count in your two hands, the competitors, right? With one of them being Anzu, in the sense that they're really guiding us. They're really trailblazers when it comes to how they've built their model and what they've done and how much funding they've got in order to build what they've done up to now. But at this time, they're not interested in Web3, and not a lot of the existing advertisers that are doing immersive ads are interested in Web3. And within the Web3 space, I will say we don't see any, probably one maybe, that they're interested in immersive ads, but it's not really a direct competitor. And that's what boosted our confidence into bringing this into the Web3 world. We can see that it works in the Web2 world. We can see that it can work in both your hyper casual games, AA, AAA games, and so on. So we wanted to bring this into the Web3 world, especially since the Web3 world is a perfect world for your hyper casual games. You know, your play to earn games that we name them play to earn is your typical hyper casual games, right? Most of the times you have, better quality. I cannot put everybody in that basket, but I will say that a lot of your hyper casual games are play to earn. And one of the ways, amongst others, to create revenue for those games, which does not include a token or selling NFTs and so on, is your box standard advertising revenue model. And what they're trying to do is, okay, let's do it. Let's bring it into the Web3 space, but let's fix it a bit as well. And let's not bring just your boring, interrupting ads that you have in the Web2 space. Let's bring something better.
Amazing. And my team has actually let me know that apparently you have a little demo, a little product action that you wanted to show us. Can I bring that up on screen now? How does that sound?
Absolutely. Let's go for it.
I'm really excited about this. All right, diving on in here.
Let's jump in. What I'm showing you over here is a couple of examples of what I mean by immersive in-game ads. This is a game that we're working with, which is a test game, which is Astromas. They were kind enough to help us in being one of the first that we were working with. And you can see the immersive ads over here. Now, what I wanted to say first is we've built our Unity SDK. We have expanded to a web SDK. And by the end of December, we will probably have our Unreal Engine SDK. So what that allows us to do is capture, I would say, 90% of the games that are out there, and allows us to be able to help all of them in generating revenue and so on. The beauty of this is we're trying to find immersive ways or non-intrusive ways where we can generate revenue for the game while it's not really interrupting your gameplay. As you've seen before, and as you can see right now, yes, you have an advertisement, you can see it, but at the same time, it's not interrupting your gameplay. You could continue playing. And on the other side, it allows for the game to keep on generating impressions from these advertisements and thus generating revenue. And now if I quickly jump into our platform, what I wanted to say first is our platform is ready. It's not about if and when and if it's gonna actually be activated and it's in alpha version and so on. You can see it live. I have another game here which is called Combra Empire. We can see the views, we can see the average daily views, the revenue generated, and so on. Of course, this was a test, so that's why we have a low revenue generated over here. But what is also really cool is this is not really something that is needed by the advertisers, but we want to know because we are really interested in knowing how many gamers do they have monthly or daily. And by the way, this is really funny. It's really hard to find really good statistics about the gamers from games. It's really hard to do. So we want to bring that information into here as well. And of course, for some of the games that have connected, I'm sure I can select one of the other ones. Let's pick Storyfire, for example. You're also able to see where your gamers are coming from. We're going to have a map over here at some point to make it even more interesting to read, and so on. Why do we need all this data? We want to have as clear-cut data that we can give back to our advertisers. in order to let them know that, hey, we have a game, this is the journey, but also here's where the gamers are coming from, so we can monetize it as appropriately as possible. Something really interesting that will be coming in the future as well, is not fully finalized over here, is we will have the ability to also collect wallets from users, and we can understand their spending habits or what NFTs or tokens they might be holding. And that's because we want to connect the correct Web3 or Web2 brands to the correct users, and also follow them along in their journey and advertise correctly into other platforms after their game events, with showing them the same relevant advertisements that we need to show them. And that's about it when it comes to a demo. It was quite brief, but more is to come.
Wow, as a marketer, I can see the value of this right away. That's what I do at TrustSwap is marketing. I can see the detailed analytics being a very key piece, as well as that wallet. I really believe that wallet, understanding the users, it almost reminds me of the Facebook marketing algorithm and how they understand what you like and can serve relevant ads. I always believed relevant ads are super important. You don't want to be showing people the wrong things. That's annoying. But when I get an ad for something, I have a bad knee. So when I get those knee brace ads, I'm like, ooh, that's way more valuable to me than something else. So I love the interface. As a marketer, this is something that I want to see come to market very soon. I want to be able to use this to target those gamers. Well, thank you very much for the presentation. First of all, I'm excited. I think it's a really cool platform, very cool idea. Somebody's going to do this, and it's really cool to see that you have that first mover advantage that we talked about. No one's really running immersive ads right now, so first mover is a really big deal. So now, like a lot of communities, the TrustSwap community really values the token. What is the token? How does the token work? What utility does the token have? And what's going to drive pressure towards the token? Can you explain how the token interacts with the RENOVI ecosystem?
Absolutely. Actually, please allow me to answer in a slightly long-winded way, but I promise it's gonna be worth it. So what I usually say is, if somebody looks at our company at the moment, they can see that it's a proper B2B kind of business. So that means we're dealing with the game and we're dealing with the advertisers, but we're never dealing with the end user, which is actually the gamer. So what we want to do is change a bit the model and allow us to be a B2C company as well. What that means is, yeah, we're gonna have advertisers advertising within games, but we wanna go the extra mile and find a way to reward gamers for playing those games that have our ads through our RENOVI token. And for that reason, what we're building here is, and the next step after what we've built up to now will be the RENOVI Hub. What that means is you will be able, as a gamer, to connect to the hub, see all the games that are working with, all of them in front of you, select any of the games that you like, and play them. And then see all the rewards that you have collected for your playtime and so on. By collecting those rewards, then you are able to have other rewards from games, have battle passes, and everything that goes with it. Your typical gaming power ups and so on. You will be able to find them all in one platform. But at the same time, you will be able to participate in competitions where you can give your tokens back, put them in a pool, and then if you win a bigger prize, a far bigger percentage of tokens and so on. Of course, this is more on one side. So if you think about it, you need to have the demand for the token as well. So if we go back and we ask ourselves, so okay, who's gonna be the biggest demander of the token? What's gonna drive the price performance of the token? And what we're saying is we are gonna be the biggest demander of the token. And what we will do is we're going to use part of the revenue that we generate from advertising and use that to do buybacks. So we want to support the ecosystem. We want to see price performance. So we'll be able to do buybacks for a token in order to see everybody being happy from participating in this ecosystem. And the goal is to bring everybody together, bring the brands, the games, and the gamers all together because they can all benefit from this at the end.
Outstanding, and it's a good solid utility for this style of project. I love how you're bringing that B2B, that B2C. You're really bringing everybody together into one ecosystem. I really like to see that because it's just more opportunities for pressure onto the token. Great time right now to remind everybody that all of this will be outlined in the Launchpad blog post, which will be down below as well. We're also going to be keeping the RENOVI social media channels down there if you want to join along on their journey. It's the #1 way to support these launch pads, and it's the best way to know what features they're coming out with when they're having big announcements and product ships. We're on to my favorite question of the day. This is the best one. The TrustSwap community, they love their token, they love their alpha. So is there any spicy details, any knowledge that you can share from behind the scenes that the TrustSwap team will be able to hear first? Is there any alpha you can share with us right now?
So you didn't hear this from me, but I was. Um, we are having some really interesting partnerships in the next couple of weeks and months and so on. I mean, this is only the tip of the iceberg. The amount of games and the amount of advertisers we are lining up, and obviously we need to talk to, go through all this discussion and so on. But they're all really happy to have us on board and serve ads is ridiculous. So what I will say is I am sure we're gonna start small over here, and it's gonna look like another nice project that you have. But we are not planning to be your small nice project for a long time. We are I'm not gonna say to the moon. That's too crypto, and that's too back in the days. But what I would say is we're bringing some amazing projects on board. We're working with many people in Southeast Asia, in LATAM, bringing all of those games, and those games are amazing. I know Europe, USA, they've done it. They've built amazing games up to now, but wait for it. There's some amazing games coming from other regions as well, even the Arabic region and so on. And we're trying to capture all of those. It's just like we see that immersive ads are not really well represented in the Web3 space. We also see that there's other regions that are also not well represented. So these areas, we're trying to bring them in, bring those games, bring those advertisers, and push it until it becomes something amazing.
Amazing. I love that going to different areas. And there are a lot of actual games, even AAAs that are coming out of other areas in the world right now. And it's really cool to see. You get a lot of different perspectives, a lot of different cultures in those games too, which is something I personally like. Well, it's time to tell everybody how to get started and join. So first things first, like we said a couple seconds ago, social media. That's going to be the #1 place to see all these alpha partnerships the second that they come out, because I know that Adonis's team is going to be posting those to all their social media channels. So down below, you'll be able to find the links to those. But how do you get involved in the Launchpad itself? Well, let me tell you, because I work for the Launchpad. First things first, down below, we have the blog post. That is going to be your source of truth. That is where you find all the numbers you need, launch dates, utilities, everything you need. Then you're going to head on over to the TrustSwap Launchpad dashboard. And if you have a swap score of 4,000 or higher, unlike most other launchpads, you're going to get yourself a guaranteed allocation. That's right, guaranteed. It's fantastic. We really value including everybody at the TrustSwap Launchpad. So make sure to get your swap scores up. If you don't know how to do that, we also have videos on the YouTube channel that will link below about how to buy and stake swap to get that 4,000 score. Right now, it's not that much swap to stake. So you can hop right on in and get your guaranteed allocation to this incredible project that I'm very excited for personally. On that note, Adonis, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a super busy person. You got some stuff you got to do. But do you have any final words for the community before we sign off here today?
Absolutely. I would like to firstly thank them for considering in participating in our raising process over here, and I would like them to seriously consider and actually participate in our token launch, because we're passionate about what we're building. We're not just building it for something really quick and then we'll just go to the next project. We really want it to succeed, and at the same time we really believe that it can actually help Web3 games and Web2 games as well, into generating revenue and bringing amazing games, into our lives. So I just want to thank them.
Amazing. As an avid gamer myself, I wanna further that journey and bring some more amazing games into our lives. Most importantly, I want to thank everybody in the TrustSwap community who made it this far into the interview series. Thank you. Just a reminder to leave any comments below. We will definitely answer those for you. And if I don't know the answer or our social media team doesn't know the answer, we're going to get RENOVI's team to answer those questions. So we will make sure your questions are answered. For everyone looking to get involved, make sure to join those community channels for RENOVI and check the blog post. And as always, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you hanging out with us, and we're excited for the Launchpad coming up very soon. Take care, everybody. Wishing you the best.
Bye.